Hi, it's Abby from Homeschool with Moxie. Here I am again with my preview of what we're using for the coming year for homeschool. So this year we will have an 8th grader. It's my last kid left at home. After graduating 4 out of our 5 kids, I only have an 8th grader left. This is the 5th time I've homeschooled 8th grade. Some things are the same and some things are changed, and I will show you all about it. It's always fun to see the whole year laid out before you start. So here's what we're using for 8th grade in our homeschool. And then I'm going to show you each one, tell you why we chose it, and give you a little inside peek. So for 8th grade language arts, we're doing a few different things just to secure some skills and make sure she's all set for high school English. I saw this advertised, I forget, in some Facebook group. Excellent essays, mastering the 5-paragraph essay. We've done writing in different ways through the years, writing with skill. We did first language lessons all through elementary. We've done a few different things, but I just thought, you know what, let's just do a final review of just getting through this. It's not gonna take super long. I'll show you the inside of this as well. So this will just be the beginning of the year. Let's get into this. And then I had a course I used for one of my other kids, and that would be Cover Story from Daniel Schwabauer. I had him on the podcast too if you want to listen to him. It's Clearwater Press, and so it's basically a middle school writing curriculum. So it comes with a DVD set. I believe there's streaming as well. Here's the student book, and then we've got the teacher guide, and then there's also like an added journal that they're writing in as well. So we'll work through that. I think between the two of them, we'll get all of that done this year. In addition, I want to keep working through Fix It Grammar, which I've spoken to so many homeschoolers as I do evaluations here in Pennsylvania and talking to different homeschoolers at convention and stuff. So many of you have realized how awesome Fix It Grammar is. Let me see if I can get you my cover here. There's a teacher guide and a student book, but it only takes like a few minutes a day to work through one sentence of grammar. So we're still working through this. We're taking our time. We've done, and maybe we'll keep going, but I love Fix It Grammar. I'll show you inside all of these language arts books so you can see what they're like. So that's what we're doing for 8th grade for language arts this year. Here's Excellent Essays by A Homemade Education Press. You can find it on Amazon. There are just 10 parts, and I don't think it's going to take long. So maybe in a few weeks, we'll be done a really great, succinct overview and summary and a little bit of practice of how to write a 5-paragraph essay before we dive into our main curriculum this year, which is from Clearwater Press, and that curriculum is called Cover Story. And it's a middle school writing curriculum, video lessons included, and your student will actually write articles, letters, feature stories for a magazine that they create about any topic they like. So it's really passion driven because it's really exciting. It's about topics they love. So I think this will be a great fit for 8th grade. And then we're tying it up with Fix It Grammar, which from IEW, you can't beat this for a really helpful daily grammar practice review and instruction guide. You'll love Fix It Grammar. So here we are again with math. We have tried so many different things through the years for different kids. We've tried Khan Academy last year to see if we could get it online with videos and a little more, having the videos explain it. But this kid loves the textbooks. And so we're back to BJU Press Math. We love it for K through 6 at least. 7th and 8th are still great, and they're easy enough. Even if you don't feel super confident with math, you're still doing basic and pre-algebra. Most people that have graduated from high school can handle that level of math. Now in the high school years, we'll see what happens in the next few years. When I had a lot of kids in the high school maths to juggle, I wasn't able to jump in and out like I wanted to, so we did, spin them off onto online maths. But with only one kid left and she really wanted a textbook, we got pre-algebra again from BJU Press Math. I did not do the right thing. I sold my old curriculum, so I had to buy it again, which makes me feel kind of crazy because I hate purchasing stuff a second time. But here's pre-algebra. Now it might actually be the old edition. This is 2nd edition, but it doesn't matter. We found this online. We just need the textbook. I'm going to show you a peek into it in a second here. And then the only other thing we need is the teacher edition. There are two big ones because they have all the solutions in there. So once she works out the problem, and if I'm there and I need to explain the lesson to her, I will. She'll start to work out the problem. She can check her own work. If we get stuck, it's usually easy enough to look up how to do the equation. Let me grab the other secret weapon. It's just a spiral notebook, and she just keeps all her work right in there. So now let me show you a little inside look into what the math curriculum actually looks like. Here's the second edition pre-algebra book from BJU Press, and this is an older edition. You can get an older edition from eBay and it won't put you out very much money, but we work right through it. It's all the main topics you want to cover before you dive into algebra. So a lesson is just structured this way. There's lots of examples and pictures and diagrams, and it walks you through problems explaining how to figure out the new topic, and then it gives you exercises. A is usually pretty simple, B is a little more complex, and then C is advanced. We don't do them all, but here's a teacher manual, and you do need this for the upper grades so you can check the solutions. For science in the middle school and high school years, I think you really can't beat Apologia. It is heavy duty, heavy thinking, really deep, but accessible because it's written for a homeschool family. They know that you're not necessarily a sciencey person able to teach all this stuff, but it's written to the homeschool student. It's so easy to use. Now we're using Apologia's Exploring Creation with Physical Science. It's an older edition, I'm sure. So here's my cover, second edition. But I love it because you can find them on eBay or whatever. It's that really thick textbook, but everything is in there that your student needs. And then of course, you have the solutions and tests in here. But if you don't want to pay big bucks for the student notebook, which you could buy brand new, it's all beautiful, it's spiral bound, you can get it directly from the publisher. Now that you might not be able to get one of that edition anymore, but if you were buying like the new edition, of course you could get the student notebook. I highly recommend the student notebook because it has the on your own questions, it has study guides, has everything kind of written in a spot where they need to take notes. I really love the student notebook, but I don't love the price tag. And for the older editions, the way that you can get around this is Knowledge Box Central offers lapbook versions, digital versions of the Apologia notebooks that they've designed. And so we get them. It's $15, and then I print out what we're going to use and we put in a 3-ring binder. So that's how we use Apologia in the middle and high school years. So this is a winner. I've used this for all of my kids. So here we are, 5th time with Apologia's Exploring Creation with Physical Science. Here's what the inside of Apologia's Exploring Creation with Physical Science 2nd edition looks like. There are a lot of modules, and no, we don't do them all. We do as many as we can in a year. It's just a normal textbook. Experiments are great. They're use normal household items. Your child would get through the whole book as much as they can until they get to the on your own questions. And then that's where the Knowledge Box Central comes in, and I printed out the journal with on your own questions and they can answer them. And then of course we have the solutions for the questions and the study guide. For history this year, we are going to finish Mystery of History Volume 3. She did start it a little bit at the end of last year, but it has plenty in here for us to continue this year. And she reads it on her own. As you get to the 3rd and 4th editions, they do get like much heavier or written more for older students. It's because you're getting into the more closer to modern age. And the only thing we do with this is we just have a notebook, and she just does notebooking. She summarizes it and writes her own summary paragraph or takes notes as she reads, and she just has that kind of review of the content. I'm not really doing tests at this point. Even with 8th grade, we can discuss it and make sure she's on track. But that's what we're doing for history this year. And you know what? We've been with Mystery of History since my oldest was in kindergarten, like back in 2008. We love Mystery of History. Back in those days, we were big on the timelines. When they're little, it's just a visual way to review all the things. I would read it, or we did the audiobook during lunch. We've done it throughout the years. So this is my 5th kid, and then she'll do the 3rd book this year, and then hopefully the 4th book next year, or as she transitions into high school. Mystery of History is written with a homeschooler in mind. There's about 3 lessons per week. The lessons are a little longer in this volume. It's definitely written from a Christian worldview, and it's written, yes, like a textbook. It is set up kind of like a textbook, although her style is nice and narrative like. She does write to the students, so you'll love it as a homeschooler. Covered the core things: the math, the language arts, the history, and the science. She takes, well, I was going to say she takes guitar lessons. She is not taking lessons right now, but she's still practicing all the time. She plays with our worship team at church. She also takes ASL lessons via Zoom with a teacher every week. She really has done well with that for the last couple years. She really enjoys it. And then in addition, for Bible this year, my husband wanted her to work through Pilgrim's Progress, and here's a study guide. So we'll start with this and then see where it takes us, see what else we do. But that's what we're going to use for Bible this year. So these are just a few of the items we are choosing to use for our 5th time through the 8th grade in our homeschool. I will try to definitely have a recap video about halfway through the year and let you know what the winners were, the losers, things that we were keeping and things we changed, because right now, as I'm looking at the year, it all looks hopeful. I think everything's going to work for us. But you know how when you get right into the year, sometimes things just don't click for that kid, or the way it's laid out just does not work for your family and your season of homeschooling. So I'll be sure to check back in partway through the year and let you know how it's going. But I hope this was helpful. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any other curriculum reviews. In the meantime, happy homeschooling.